Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are making bracelets. We are making bracelets with Sam's Bead Box, Wendy's Safari, September 2025. And so often I put together so many different things, and then out of all the things I put together, I decide, okay, yeah, that one's my favorite, or I really like that process, or that's one I can't wait to wear. But this time, I have designed so many pieces, and I had to take certain design aspects and thoughts apart to try others just to see what I wanted to do because I was using everything. That's the plan. That's the goal. Gonna do that. Gonna do that, and we are gonna knock a lot of it out today. So, first two bracelets that I'm gonna be making today is what I have out so far on my mat, plus a couple extra findings. And for the first bracelet, we are using this little guy. I think they are just so cute. These little howlite giraffes and elephants are just absolutely adorable. And so I definitely had to pop them in immediately because I'm excited about them. And so what I'm using with him is we have these beautiful green beads. We had a variety of those, right? We had some light, dark, some that were a little more of yellowy green. And I thought that was just really fun. I'm going to pull in a couple of these rondelles, those colors. There's the lighter and the darker of the orange, so we're going to use the lighter. And then these bicones. I'm loving these bicones. These are super cool, that kind of half orange, half black. And it was those bicones that made me really go where I went with this bracelet. So I have some dangles that I already made. Okay, we'll talk about those a little bit more. We're using little discs. We are using one of the little seed beads, or one of those little spacer beads that was in there that's green. But then I have also pulled from my stash 2 of my little 4mm peridot. Okay, those are faceted peridot. We have some bead caps here, a little bit of spacers, some small jump rings that are black. Okay, and those are going to be used actually as spacers. And then I pulled in just a couple of my spinel, beautiful little spinel here. And we're gonna get this thing going. So what I'm using for my wire is Soft Flex Satin Silver Fine. And I had 2 pieces here that I cut to 3 inches, and I went ahead and did a little clamshell connector at the ends of 2 of those just to help me on timing. And then this piece is about 6.5 inches. I'm gonna pull in a little eye head pin, and we're gonna put this guy together first. You ready? Let's get it going. Let's get it going. So what I'm going to be doing with this guy is I want him to be on this head pin, and then I'm wanting him to be kind of the center that's flowy and, kind of moves around as the center focal without him spinning. I don't want him moving around. So that's why I chose this process, where they're going to pull in 2 strands on either side of him. Okay, so what I was doing is, when I was testing it out, and I was trying to even see if there were seed beads I could put in here, I just didn't want this one to be doing this. So I don't think he's going to do much of that anyways. He could still spin a little bit, but let's have fun with it. Let's have fun with it. Okay, so what I want to pull on each side of him is I was thinking 2 of these little guys, and I do want to bead cap them. And that's about all that's going to be happening in this little center because that's all that's needed. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pick up one of my little, and my 3mm. These are the 3mm bronze bead caps that I get from Fire Mountain. Okay, and then I have some 5mm and 6mm. So I'm just wanting to bead cap this orange bead. And that's going to be on each side of our little guy here. And it's going to be just enough of a pop, Amy. It's going to be just enough of a pop to kind of keep your eye drawn to it, but not so overwhelming that, you're not seeing what the actual beauty is or what the focal is, and that is this guy. I'm going to be doing a couple different types, but they're all going to be very simple designs, right? Very simple to put together, very simple to, redo, if you want to make this, which would be super cool. But I'm really liking kind of the theme of it all, how they're coming together, the look of them. It's just what I was going for. I was looking all for the look. And so I'm just gonna have a happy time with this. So I'm just gonna do a simple loop, and I'm gonna do it tight. I want it to be right up against there, okay? Because with him being nice and snug, that's gonna keep him from moving around so much. Or from wanting to move around so much, right? All right, so just gonna do a little simple loop. Okay, and that is our little guy. Now, one thing is, I do want to make sure these are going the same direction, and my attempt was to make them the same direction, but they are just a little off, it looks like. And you see he'll still move, just not as much as he would if he was on that wire. So we want to make sure that those are just like so, and the same. So this is going to connect to these. And I was thinking about adding jump rings for the extra movement, but I really don't think we're going to need them. So I'm going to put them right on. Oop. And our second one. Mm-hmm. Make sure those are closed all the way. So that is going to be our center focal, and I love it. Love it. Okay, so on our ends, I brought in some, I think these guys are like 15 OC beads. They are just the tiniest of little tiny guys, but I love the color and the little bit of pop that it gives. It's just a little something that just says pow, and I want to start with that. So I'm going to put one on the end here. Definitely need fine wire for this. I'm sure medium would be okay, but fine would be way easier. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to put on one of our spacers. And that's what's going to be flanking these bicones. And so these bicones are going to be the star of the show in this strand, as well as a couple little peridot. So then we're going to put the bicone right on. And with this bicone, it's going to kind of nestle up against that spacer, you see. That's what I love about those bicones. And then you have that just itty bitty pop, that little bitty pop of green, but it does so much. So why I brought in all of these little jump rings. I was looking for something, right? I wanted something specific, some sort of pop that goes through this piece, but all of my spacers were just too much. They were just so, in your face kind of, and I wasn't looking for that. And so I tried something and I actually like it. And so I am going to use these guys to act as spacers. And I think it just works out really well. And it's one of those things too, where if you don't have a spacer and you need something, it's always good to know that you have options. And we all have jump rings. We all have jump rings, and they are options, just like our little crimp tubes as spacers. But see what happens there? See how it just nestles up against there? And so it's giving that, definition. It's giving that, it's there, something's there flanking that peridot, but without it being too much. Okay, so on the other side, we're just going to pop in another one of our little dotted spacers. And then at the end, I'm going to use a couple of these discs, and a couple of our orange beads, and a couple of these guys. Okay, and what I'm wanting to do from here is I'm just coming in with one of our little discs. Now whenever I make these today, I'll only have, I think there's 2 of these left. Love them. Love them. I absolutely love that strand. So versatile, really opens up so many things. Yeah, that's cute. and another one of these, and another disc on the end. And so here you can really see it, right? See what happens there? Isn't that just cool? I mean, I think so. I love it. And then I'm going to come in with another one of our spacers. And I'm just going to give that little pop at the end, that little bling bling. If I find the hole, that is. You know, these spinel, it's so hard for me to find these holes, but I just love them. I love them. I have them in several different sizes, and they just give such a pop. And so this is what I'm looking at for each side. So the two sides are going to be identical, and this is what they're going to be. For right now, I'm going to bead bug this guy just to keep him where I want him to be. And then we'll move on to the other side and just do the same thing. Same thing. See that? Isn't that just so cool? I think maybe I'll pop one on this other end too. I think that'll be cool. I'll do that. I'll put it down here at the very end. That way it kind of matches on both sides and it gives that pop on both sides. I like it. Okay, so we're just going to do a spacer, a bicone, one of our jump rings, this beautiful little peridot. I love that that color of peridot matches so well. Worked out, really worked out. Another bicone, we'll come back in here with a spacer. Well, maybe this guy does need a jump ring. Well, I guess it's not going to be doing what I'm doing to it right now, right? Okay, and we're just going to do a spacer. We're going to put, or I'm sorry, a disc bead, our little spacer, orange, our spacer or jump ring, whatever you want to call it, works. And then we'll do that other. So I'm going to pop in with a little daisy spacer, our little spinel. I knew I just saw that hole. And then let's pop on one of these. Yeah, that's needed. Super cute, right? Cute, cute. So we'll set this aside, we'll close them all up together, and let's work on our whole strand. So we'll set him up here, and I'm wanting him like so. Okay, so let's bring down all of these other beads. And this process for this strand is going to be a really easy, simple process, but it is just going to look cool. It is going to look cool. I'm really excited about it. And, you know, I'm going to be on the hunt for bead caps and things that are black because gunmetal just wasn't doing it and I wanted black, but, you know, I don't have that. And so it works out really well here with this antique bronze. And so that's the way we're going to go. So on this strand, we're going to come in here and I want, because you know, it's going to be thicker here, right? And so I want the thinnest part of this to be right here where his legs are coming down. And so I just thought kind of bring in the sides here to the center, and I think it'll work out pretty well. So we're going to put in, where's that little, oh, he's here. This little bitty guy is going to be the very center of the strand. And, oh, I think it's just cute that, you know, the smallest colored bead is the star of the second strand. Okay, so we need a couple of these just to flank each side of that orange and to go up against that disc. See how that just nuzzles in there? Super, super cute. And then let's do a spinel on each side of that to kind of bring it into the rest. Oop. Come on, little guy. He gives such a pop, though. There it is. Okay, so one side, and then this side as well. We may as well go ahead and fiddle with it twice in a row. Whew. Hardest part of the bracelet right there, my friends. Getting the holes found and putting that spinel. Okay, so we just have a few more of those to go, but it's going to be cool. From here, I'm going to go right in with one of our spacers. So from the spacer, I'm going to then put on one of these bigger bead caps with our green bead. And then I'm going to go ahead and bead bug one end of this so that I know we're good. There we go. So I'm going to do that so it looks like it's kind of together. That little dotted spacer is right there with the bead cap. I like that look. Okay, we'll put another spacer in there. And then all we're doing is putting a spinel in the middle. Another spacer. And then we're going to come in with our orange. And with our orange, I'm wanting to do one of these smaller 5mm bead caps. It gives a little more pop and definition at the end, but I think it looks just really, really good with the rondelle. I love that we got such a mix. We had such a mix this month with so many different items and options and textures and shapes, and just amazing. Amazing, amazing job with that. That's so pretty. Okay, then we're just going to come in with another one of our greens. Okay, same series, little spacer, a spinel. Ooh, do I see the hole? Ah, ha, ha, looky there. Okay, another dotted spacer. Then we'll come back in with the orange. I told you, simple as that. It's going to be very simple, but I think it looks just gorgeous. It doesn't have to be difficult to be gorgeous. That is for sure. I knew I had those. There we go. Okay, so we'll do a daisy spacer. Spinel. Bring these back over here. Daisy spacer. Then we'll do that green. Oh, what am I doing? I'm staying on this side. Oh, Amy. I am just silly. Okay, so after the green, you know, we're going to go to the other side because this is our center. I'm just looking down at the piece like, oh, I love those together. Okay, so we're just doing the same thing on this side. So it's the two green and the orange. Okay, so we'll start out with, from here, we're going to have that other daisy spacer. Love that. I was looking to see if maybe I wanted a daisy spacer on the other side of that disc, but oh, that looks cute. That looks cute, just since it's been going throughout, you know? Okay, so we'll get these in here. I love the facets that's on these, and that it's flat on those two sides. Oh, so good. So what I have ready also to do is 2 different tutorials on sets. I have sets that I'm going to be doing. It was difficult trying to decide which things I was going to do first because I had so much fun playing with all of this and was like, oh yeah, I can totally do this whole box, no question. This is amazing. And then life got really busy and I didn't have the time to record. And so I needed to have just a little more time. But boy, I designed a whole bunch in the process. And this box so sparked me on other designs. Absolutely, these colors are phenomenal together. Absolutely love them. And with it being fall and I don't know if the spinel has a hole. There it is. Yep, the spinel has a hole. Okay, let me grab him back again. No, you can't take off. Come here. There you go. Okay, and then we'll do another spacer. And we'll put that last bead on. A little spacer here. And then pop on that last little spinel. Let's see if I have good luck again down here. Very good. Beautiful. Love it. So let's come in here and I need to remember to put, actually I have another 2. I'll put them at the ends of this too. That'd be perfect. And we'll put these guys together. Let's verify our length, make sure we are good there. And if needed, I went ahead and got 2 of these out just in case this one needs to be a little bit longer or if that one needs to be a little bit longer, right? So let me go ahead and pop these on though, because even though they won't have much in length, they're still there. Oh. Listen, can you hear that? Hold on. You okay, Squirt? That's how he calls me. He's so sweet. Okay, so on our length, we are, let's make sure this is tight. Make sure that is tight. And it's not. I'm forgetting it's 2 separate strands here. Okay, both sides are tight. Pretty close. Looks like we need a little something something on this back one. Let's do our measurements. Right at 4.5. So let's do our measurement on this one. Let's just put him all the way to the edge there. And a little longer. So yes, we need something up here. So why don't on this one we add that daisy spacer to the end of it. And here I was thinking this one was going to be possibly shorter. So yeah, let's do that. So then we're doing on this one, the daisy spacer, spinel, daisy spacer, and then we'll do that little seed bead on the end. So we'll do the same thing over here on this side. That should get us about where we need to be, because out of the two of these strands, and out of the two of these strands, that one has the most dimension. And so with it being a bigger dimension overall, if the length's a little bit longer, I'd want it to be on that strand. Okay, so this looks cute. I say we get it closed up. So I have, let's get out 4 of those, and I have some crimp tubes up here. I'm gonna go ahead and bead bug this end, and we will get this closed off. I'm going to toggle all of these today. All of these bracelets are going to be toggled. I really like toggling for bracelets because it's so difficult for me to put bracelets on. And yes, I've used all the little gadgets and things and stuff, and it just is a very difficult thing for me. Always has been. And here, you don't want it to be stick straight, so you don't want to push down and pull up too much. However, it is just a little bit of a strand here. Okay, there's not much going on, so it doesn't have to be like crazy or anything. We'll close him up. Okay, we'll come over to the other side. Clamshell. Crimp tube. So this morning I ordered a ton of soft flex. I am just super low on everything soft flex, all of my soft flex. And so I had just gotten a new roll of the satin silver and fine, and I should have just at that time gotten and re-upped my size medium, but I didn't. And I am down to the wire with it almost out. Okay, so we'll close him up. And this is one strand. So cute. Super, super cute. Love it. Okay, so we'll bring this one down and we will do the same. Get it closed up, toggle it off, see what we think of it, and go from there. Have you guys started your fall designs yet? As soon as I brought out my big container with all of my leaves, I was like, yes, I'm ready. Yes, yes, I am. I love leaf beads though. I love fall. I love fall. The only thing I really don't like about fall is that winter is directly after it. Holidays are amazing, but whoo. I think I was born to be in Florida or something and not the Midwest. Okay, so I'm folding this in half just to make sure I have movement. I'm just grabbing a hold of this, and then I'm going to pull up on that wire as I push down and crimp. Or push down and lose my grip. Oh, come here, little fella. Because I definitely want movement on this. Let's make sure you guys can see it too. There he goes. Slipping right off of there. So cute, right? Love it. Love it. Don't those jump rings just really make a difference? I think they so make a difference. And I had never used jump rings as spacers before. I was just trying, I was going through all of my stuff like, oh, that's too thick, but I want something. It needs something. Something should be there, you know? So let's bring down a couple jump rings, and I made some little cha-chas, just one little thing of cha-chas. I actually did this with all of the bracelets to make sure that I would have time to have cha-chas. Because so often, especially when I'm doing multiple bracelets, you know, I run out of time and then I'm like, oh, I'll put cha-chas on afterwards. No, I'm gonna put them on now. Okay, and actually I think, I think I do. I'm gonna grab one more of those jump rings. And I'm going to put small jump rings on these and jump ring to the bigger one. And we'll toggle it. Slipped. Okay. These are slipping big time on my pliers this morning. Wow. Okay, so I'll get another one of those. Oh, he's sticking out there a little bit. And then one more. The other one needed to go on a vacation, so he flew out of here. Actually, it's open. All right, so then I'm going to take these and I'm going to use the larger jump ring and connect to each of these individual jump rings. I'm going to trim this off. It's poking out there a little bit. There it goes. Remind me I need to close that jump ring better. And actually, I'll go ahead and put my toggle on. I don't think, actually I'm going to wait. I think I might add another jump ring. Let me do that. Then I'll toggle to that so it can hold the dangles, and I think that'll be better for the length. This is a little on the smaller side. I don't think it'll be too small at all, but one of these littles, that guy. Super cute. And I will go ahead and put my dangles on. And I'm being mindful that as I put it on, that's small on either side of that bigger one. I'll close this up. Grab that other one that I popped on. We'll include our toggle with this one. Has any of you ever done antique bronze with black before, or even with gunmetal? I don't know if I have, but I think the look is amazing. I think it looks really cool. And our other side. Let's check you out, buddy. Yeah, I thought so. So this is our first bracelet. Isn't it so cute? See, I told you none of them are going to be difficult, but oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. Looks like he's peeking out there too. I was on a roll with that, wasn't I? Okay, I'm fixed up, and then let's make bracelet number 2. I just love it. Love it, love it. Our little dangles at the one side. Bracelet number 1. So cute. Love it. So for bracelet 2, this is going to be a triple strand bracelet. Okay. And this triple strand, I want to also go into a single strand that's going to be connected to this toggle. And what I'm pulling in for this one is all of the elephants. I love them. They are all playing today. And in between down here, a delica fit perfectly in there so that you wouldn't see the wire. Love it. We are going to be using almost all of the chip beads. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chip beads that are left after we make this bracelet. I brought in a piece of howlite that is that teal color from my stash. A couple little pieces of colored howlite that is from my stash, as well as some cream. When I saw these and then these, I knew what I had, and I've had them for quite some time, and I was super excited. So I definitely needed to and really wanted to be able to incorporate some of my howlite from my stash. It allowed me to do so, and I'm really happy about that. I've had that howlite for a long time, and I never end up using it. You know, it's not that I don't want to, it just... So let's talk about our focal. On the focal, what I'm looking for is these two guys, like so, or like so. Either way, I want their feet to be towards each other. Okay, and in between, let's see, maybe that one. In between, I'm going to have one chip bead. Oh, maybe that one. I like him too. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this chip bead in the center. And then on each side is the only little dotted spacers we're using in this bracelet. So put it dotted spacer on each side of that. And then we're going to put on the elephants. So what I did was I put these elephants on a piece of wire like this and just kind of pushed that delica a little bit to see if it would go up in there. And I thought, well, hopefully I don't break it. But one of them, and well, the reason why is because one of them, I put a delica on there and it just popped right in there. So I was like, I'm going to try the other ones. And if I have to push them just a little bit, if they end up breaking, okay, whatever, I just won't, you know. I just won't. But isn't that so cute as a centerpiece, right? And we are going to be pulling in, this is 22 gauge wire and it is in bronze. That's going to be for our part that it connects to. So again, simple design, but fun, and I am definitely wearing this bracelet. Love it. So from here, I'm wanting to put on one of these seed beads. So I have some 11-0 seed beads here. They are the ivory and they are Preciosa seed beads. So I wanted something to just have that little bit of spacing. And so that just kind of blends into the color of the elephant. And I thought that worked out really well. Okay, so we're going to have that. And then we're going to be doubling up on bead caps for our halite beads. And so I have here a 4mm that I get off of Amazon. I'll have it linked below. 4mm in bronze, and then these are the 3mm that I get from Fire Mountain that's in that bright silver. So the mixed metals on this one is that bright silver and the antique bronze. And what I'm wanting to do is I want to have the outside of our howlite there bead capped, but I'm not going to bead cap anything in the center because it's going to be such a statement with that little pop there that I don't think it's needed. And that's saying a lot for me, right? Okay, so then we'll add that on, and that's how that series is going to be starting. All I'm doing from there is pulling in some of the chip beads. So I'm going to do 3 chip beads in this series with one of our little seed beads in between each one of them. Do you have some anybody? Guess not. I love that look with chip beads whenever you put a spacer on either side of it. That way it just kind of gives them a little separation, but not too much. And I think it's just adorable. I absolutely love it. And then from here, we're going to go into the other series that we're going to be working on, and that is using these 4mm check glass. I've had these in my stash for a while. I have these in I have them in like 4mm, 6mm, 8mm, and then I have them in rounds. All of the other ones are rondelles. And so I'm going to come in and we're going to do that same kind of series, but different. Okay, so I'm going to double bead cap it. So I'm going to come in here with the silver and then the 4mm bronze. And then we're going to do an opposite. So we're going to put on one of these with that howlite that's in the middle. And another one of these guys. Okay, and then at the end of that, we'll do that same thing. So we'll first start out with the bronze this time, and then top that off with our bright silver 3mm. One of them. I want to put one of these seed beads at the end, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so for our focal, that is what we're looking at. Oops. So I'm going to bead bug this side, and we'll go ahead and knock out that other side. And then on the other 2 strands that's going to go with this, they're going to be the same, just on each side. I had tried a few different things, and that's what was really speaking to me. So I was like, okay, that's easy enough. No, Amy. Highlight. Our pop. And highlight. Love it. Then we'll do that bronze. And go right back into our series. So we're going to do 3 of these with a 11-0 seed bead in the middle. I was worried when I was thinking this one out that I wasn't going to have enough of our chip beads for it, you know, but it worked out just about perfect. Okay, so we'll do one of these guys. Highlight. Check glass. The double bead cap pop on this is phenomenal, I think. So cute. Now, I'll probably end up with a seed bead on, yeah, I went ahead and did it on the other end. We may end up removing that. We'll see. We'll see what the size ends up being. But this is the center of our 3 strands and the primary for this bracelet. Love it. So let's set that one aside. These next 2 strands are going to be the same. Okay, so I'll probably do one and then speed up on the second one. Just try to save a little bit of time there. So on this one, it's just going to be a very easy series that's going on, and all it's going to be is very similar to what we were just doing, but without the elephants and a little backwards on a couple areas. So we're going to go ahead and start with 3 of these. And we will bead bug that. Maybe a flat one on this. So on this one, what I'm looking to do on these 2 side strands, I'm looking to do more of a howlite pop. And so I'm going to do the howlite with one of these in the middle for that 3 series. It's just so cute. I think it looks good as an offset on there. And I'm loving that ivory in between that turquoise. That is just, that's where it's at. Love it. Okay, so we're just going to jump into another 3 of these. Seed bead in the middle. I don't know why I keep wanting to forget my silvers. So this one is one of the first ones out of all of these that I had designed. Because again, I knew I really, really wanted to pull in some of my howlite to use in this, and it took no time to come up with this one. And I love here for the focal how it's almost like there's an elephant, you know, on a rock on each side. Love it. Where's that square one? There you are. I used one of these that looked like a little cuboid. I used it for the dangle. It came with two of those, and I thought that was super cool. So we're coming right back in with that howlite. For check glass, can you see those? So pretty. And howlite. Okay, and then I'm gonna, because I should have 4 sets of these, so I need to put the howlite part on this side and then that side. And I'm gonna do a seed bead at the end. We'll swap that over and just do that last little bit with that howlite here. Okay, so here is one of our side strands and our side strand up against our focal. So cute, right? So I do have a few more of these beads left. I may end up doing that. Don't know. But I want first, these two are going to be the same, right? So we're looking at maybe one rondelle at the end. And so let's test it. We'll just do that with a seed bead. How about that? Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. That'll work. And then let's look at our length. A little bit better. Still needs a little something. Almost another series. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to take these off for a second and leave this. And I may end up coming in here with just a couple chip beads at the end. We'll see. We'll see. But hang tight. I'm going to remake this. Or I'm going to make a second one of this, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead on these and I ended them. Okay, and I do have that little seed bead at the end of each of these. And isn't that just such a beautiful combination? I love it. Totally, totally love it. So on our length, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking on the ends here, if I add one more of these and a little seed bead, that might be what we're looking for. But I haven't measured it. I just was putting the other one together and looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I think that might work. So let's see. Nope, I think it's still needing more. It is. Okay, so hold on, let me get a howlite. so then let's do this. Oh, I lost my, I'm glad that happened. I lost my silver. Okay, so then from here, I'm gonna do then a howlite, then our little check glass guy, and the seed bead. And then I'll fix that and do the same thing on the other side. And then we shall check again. Okay, so that howlite, check glass, seed bead. It's kind of tight. There we go. All right, that's the way we want it. Okay, so let's end out this. Let me re-bead bug this. So we'll get the ends done on this. Do I need more? I do need more. Hold on, clamshell connectors. And I'm actually out of the bright ones. So we are gonna pull in these. So in the center one, we're gonna have that bronze pop through. Actually, that might not be too shabby too. That might be a cool little pop. And then we'll do our little single strand that we're going to connect it to. And then we'll do more bracelets. I am bracelet crazy. I have always been bracelet crazy. I probably will always be bracelet crazy. You know, almost every one of my designs, well, I can't say almost everyone, a lot of my designs, bracelets or not, start out as a bracelet idea. And then I work to turn it into something else. It's just my go-to. It's the way I started. I started with my love of bracelets and went into, you know, remake jewelry that I had into bracelets. And it's what I wear most and most of. Love bracelets. Oh. Grab a hold of him again. Ooh. He does not want to be held. There we go. Good little squeeze there. Make sure he's good because we are using this fine wire. Okay, so for our 3 strands, this is what we are looking at. Super cute, super cute. Okay, now I want this to go into a single. Let me bring out my wire. So this is 22 gauge, and this was a scrap piece of wire, so you're only going to need a couple inches, right? But I'm just using what that piece was. And let's go ahead and make a wrap loop on one side. He's spinning. There he goes. Okay, looks good now. Okay, so on this, I'm gonna bring in a couple of those delicas. Okay, I have the delicas underneath him at the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna put one at the very top of each, or at the end of each. So I'm gonna start with that delica. I'm gonna do one of our ivory seed beads. I'm gonna pop on the elephant. He's so cute. I just think it's just adorable. And then let's come in, and I'm going to use those 5mm bead caps for the center guy here. And I'm going to double bead cap that. So I'm going to start here with the silver, and then pop in the bronze. Then come back again with that bronze, followed by silver. That's so cute. Super, super cute. Then we're going to put our other little elephant guy on, and then seed bead and a delica. And this is what that little link will look like. So super cute. So no matter which way you're looking at it, the elephant's one way. You know, you have one elephant that's one way. Okay, so we will just knock out that other side. Want them to go in the same direction. Kind of bent a little bit. And so what I like is this color, pardon me, this color of the wire kind of runs into that delica, and it gives it a little more spacing. And I like that. I don't know if fall allergies are hitting any of you early, but oh my. Oh my, oh my. I am really tired of sneezing, and if there's any weird edits that you see, I just can't help it. Okay, let's make sure these guys are even. They look to be even. There we go. Actually, I want it to be even with. Optical illusion maybe, or because they keep spinning, I keep thinking they're off. Okay, so what we're going to be doing from here is I'm going to move these little guys out of the way. Let's bring in, I have a big one, I guess, and then I have some others. So I'm thinking I'm wanting to jump ring each of these, okay, and then take that jump ring into this, and then this, and the end into the toggle. So that's usually best to make sure I have some good movement. Think, is this only triple strand? Nope, there's 2 triple strands. I love me some multi-strand bracelets. All of these are multi. Okay, so we'll just get those, whoops, on the other side. I'm so sorry if that was shaky, you guys. So I'm trying to determine one of these bracelets is my like super, super favorite. And I'm trying to determine if I wait and do that one last. I mean, all of these bracelets are cool, really cool. I'm really excited about them all. There's one though that, it spoke to my soul. It is incredible in my eyes. I'm going to, I think I will do these 3 to this big one to connect here, and that's where our little dangles are going to be. And then I'll do just a regular size on the other side and to the toggle. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to connect the jump rings in order to this jump ring. And then I will go ahead and pop on little cha-chas. There we go. Okay. Oh. So here's what we're looking at. So cute. Love it. Love it. Okay, so on this other side, I'm going to take these 3 and they're going to go into here. But I think I want another bigger jump ring like that one. And then if I do good on timing, then I may at the end do a whole nother set of these cha-chas for the other side of this ring because I think it is super cute. Okay, so pop each of these on. And then we will put on one side of our toggle. And I love this little heart toggle. It's a little like hammered heart toggle. Just super cute. There it goes. New. And then the other part of the toggle on this end. Just do a little guy for that one. So cute. Look at that. So adorable, right? I love it. Love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so actually, let's try it on. I know someone that would love this, but boy, if it fits me perfect. Oh, I love that. It actually does fit pretty darn well. Oh, the fluidity of it. Oh, this one's a good one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love that bracelet. Okay, so bracelet number 2. Okay, I'm gonna get out all the stuff for the others and I'll be right back. All right, let's get started on bracelet number 3 and then we'll do bracelet number 4. Okay, so the beading wire I'm using, and this is cut to about 7.5 inches. I am using Soft Flex satin silver color in medium, and that's all. That's all I have of it. That's the last of it. I'm pulling in some 22 gauge gold wire. I have these cut to about 3 inches. I have some head pins here, some eye head pins. I'm pulling in, I love these zebra beads. I love these so much. I'm pulling in one of the bigger ones, one of the smaller ones, a couple of those wooden discs that we got. The African jade. I'm pulling in the African jade little faceted beads. And then from my stash, I brought in a little more of that howlite. I have, this is faceted tiger eye that's the same size. And then because in my other designs, I use all the rest of the discs, I've pulled in from my stash just a few of these little guys. Okay, besides that, I have some bead caps toggle. We're going to do a 2-to-1 connector here with this and have little spacers, and we're going to get going. So let's first put together just the strand. It's going to be super simple, and with the strand, this is our focal. So with this being our focal, I'm wanting to pop in these little 4-petal daisy or 4-petaled bead caps. I guess they're 5-petal bead caps. Yep, but because of how they kind of poke out a little bit, I'm going to put one of these on underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of the 4mm gold bead caps, and then on top of it, that will be fully covering it, will be our bigger bronze bead caps. Because it may, in some instances, have a little bit of spacing, and that way you just see a little hint of gold popping out from there. And that's not too shabby. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pop him on. And then just for a moment, we will have a bead bug. Okay, so on each side, super simple series. I'm wanting to pull in the howlite with our little discs. And then I'm pulling in our African jade and those couple tiger eye that's going to be on each side of that. So I'm going to start with just having a spacer. Okay, so I don't want a whole bunch going on. This is going to have a lot of pop on its own, but this little spacer just works out really nice. I get these from Hobby Lobby. They're these little squares and just super cute. I'll link those below. Did I get the link for those? I know I get them in the store. Actually, hold on. It's these, and they're always 50% off. And it comes with that gold and that matte silver and bright silver. So I get those from Hobby Lobby. And I'm pulling in those gold ones in this one. So I'm going to do just one of those, and then I'm going to come in with my little series. I really like it. So I'm going to do a little 3mm gold bead cap, and then a 4mm bronze bead cap. I'm going to pop on that howlite, and then in between the howlite, I'm just going to do a little disc. No spacers, no other bead caps, none of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to come back in with our bronze. And we'll top that with the gold. Then we'll do another one of our spacers. And then all I'm doing here with no bead caps is 2 of our African jade, 1 tiger eye. So we'll do that. Jade, and these are the exact same size, same little facets and everything. It's just happiness. A little tiger eye to pop in some brown. Okay, put a spacer on the other side of that. Then we'll just do this little howlite series again. So we'll bring in that gold bead cap followed by bronze. We'll do our howlite, check glass spacer, disc, and howlite. And we'll end that out with the bronze and the gold. And we'll just do a spacer at the end. I'm going to bead bug this end. I'll come over to the other side. And same thing. Bring these down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have our little spacer in there. And we'll do gold, bronze. You can tell this is at the end of it. Oh my, it's a little sticky. I literally used what the end of it was. And this is going to be far too long anyway, so I've got to take that little sticky part off that sticks it to the... My little bead caps are like, hey! Okay, so we're going to do a howlite, little spacer, and a howlite. spacer. Then we'll do that African shade. Look at it winking up. Oof, so good. Tiger eye. Where's your hole, buddy? There it is. And then another one of those shade. Okay, pop on a spacer. We'll go right back into that series. And it's going to be that simple, my friends. Okay, then we'll just bead cap that. And put a spacer at the end. And that is our strand. Okay, so this is going to be a double, and the double I'm going to make as links. So that other one's going to be links, this one is a strand. Okay, so we'll set this aside for just now. Then we'll talk about what we're going to do here. So I'm wanting a series here, right? So I'm wanting, actually I'm going to bring this back down. I'm wanting these two somewhere around in here, you know, on either side of where our focal is. And then in between each of those, I'm just going to do a little wrapped loop with some of our African jade on it. I think it'll be just adorable. African jade and our howlite. Right. So I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good. And then it looks like I need one more howlite. Okay, I think I used one of them for the dangle. So this is going to be pretty simple. What I'm wanting is for these guys, I'm going to put them on just an eye head pin. Okay, I'm going to put them on an eye head pin, and I'm going to make links for our other little portion of it. And for this, just all I'm looking to do is I want a spacer. And I'm going to do a bigger 4mm gold bead cap. Right, just very simple, cute. We'll just make simple loops on those. But it gives that pop, you know. Spacer. So we'll have these go in the same direction. So we'll go ahead and get those knocked out. I want those all the way down. I don't want too much wiggle room going on here. Make sure it's all the way closed. He wanted to pop up there. Okay, so we have those two made. Okay, so there's that. Now we're gonna make wrapped loops with these. And I will be muting this a little bit because Lily decided to come in here and have her breakfast. So I'll try to get that around just a little bit more to make that third loop. Yeah, that'll work. He has a little spacing. I'll get him fixed up. Go. Hmm. Hmm. I'm so sorry if I was out of, oh, I hope I wasn't out. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm actually scooted back a little bit from the beading table a little more than I normally am, so my apologies. Okay, let's get these done here. And on this, all it's going to be is a spacer, one of our jade, one of our howlite, and a jade spacer at the end. I needed more African jade than that. Hold on one sec. Yeah. Okay. That fastening is gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, so gorgeous. Wendy would have loved this box. She would have been so happy and so proud. And oh, does that make me happy? So happy. Okay. So then I'll make the other side of the wrap loop on each of these. And we will get them connected. I want those wraps to go the same direction, those loops to go the same direction, I mean. And then what I'll go ahead and do is the other link. And what's going to happen with this other link is it's going to be really simple. Okay, really simple. It's going to be this here. Essentially, it's going to be the same as the center. And so, but from here, I'm going to come in with a spacer. I'll do that bead cap. And I will do one of these tiny bead caps with it, like underneath of it, in case that pokes through. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And then we'll do that other tiny bead cap. We'll do the bronze bead cap and a spacer. And we'll just do a simple loop on this one. Come on. There he goes. Oh. Okay, make that tight. We will cut that off and roll it up. He super wants to spin. Wow, wow. Okay, and so that is going to be the other link that we're using. So from here, I'm going to come in, I'm going to give these a little wrap, and we'll get them connected. Super, super simple piece here. But oh, it's going to be so pretty, I'm sure. I kept thinking like I'd really want a bracelet with links, but sometimes for me, links get, they kind of bother me a little bit. They get kind of stiff. And I thought, well, no, if these are smaller links, that keeps that from being a thing, essentially. There we go. When I had finally decided on so many of these that I had put together and kind of partially, designed and kind of looked at, I decided, you know what? I am going with it. I really want bracelets. So I'm not going to change them up to make them into something else. I'm going to go with bracelets because that's happiness. And then I was super excited, super happy, kind of proud of myself. Because so often, it's me talking myself out of it. Like, you do enough bracelets, do this, do this. And I was like, you know what? You want to do bracelets? You do bracelets. So I did bracelets. Oh, but I do have 2 sets actually designed that I'll be doing after this one. So cute, right? Just easy, flexy, nice. So now let's take a peek at where we are at this length before we move on. I am sure we're going to be jump ringing to our connectors here. Well, yes, but still I wanted to do that anyways. Okay, so let me take off one of these sides. And then, oh, that's pretty good. Actually, I think that's pretty spot on. If we're looking at those, maybe it's a little bit shorter on this side, but when the jump ring gets involved, I think it will be a-okay. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. I like it. So let's go ahead. Let me end these out. So I brought in some gold. And a couple of our crimps. Bring this up. Close that off. Okay, and then this, it's going to be hard to ensure movement, you know, on both of these sides, but I'm just not going to be doing any pushing, right? I'm not going to push it down. That way it has a little bit of flexibility. It's not, you know, stiff as a board. And always remember that when that clamshell gets closed, it takes up a little bit of space all on its own just by doing that. I'll close that up. There's our strand, and here's our other. It's pretty close, yeah? Pretty close. I like it. So what I'm thinking is from here, I'm going to connect them to this because I want them to stay separated. I don't want them flopping on top of each other. And so that's why I want that to happen. And let's see, I think I want, oh no, these will do. I'll just have to get out some more. Possibly. I have bigger ones up there. Let's see where we are. But let's get these connected. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. So here's one side. And then, oh, there it is. Then we'll get that other side going. So let me come from the other side. Woo! Oh, I hear a kitty kitty. I think they got shut in the bedroom. So hold on one sec. Yep. Allow me a super quick second, guys. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so let's do that other side. I don't want them to get hung up, so grab him like so. Woohoo! let's take a peek here. I don't want to cause them to be hung up by being connected, you know. There we go. And see how this one looks a little bit longer? It's going to. It has more diameter on it than the other one does. It will be just fine. So from here, what I'm wanting to do is I want to connect on one side. I want to connect this. Okay. And then he's going to connect to the toggle. So that way we have weight on the back and the top. So that way it's not constantly rolling. So that was my concern with this, with it having more weight, obviously, you know, it was going to always be on the underneath. And so this will do that offset. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Okay, so we'll connect him with this bit of a smaller jump ring, and I'll put our dangles on that one too. Okay, so this connector is going to this guy, and then good movement, I have little dangles made here, and they're on a bigger jump ring. Okay, super cute, love it, love it. Okay, then we'll connect these bigger ones. And this one on the other side. Oop. Pop him on. This one's fun. Fun, a little bit different. Needs to be closed better. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay. So on this one, here's what we're looking at. That's so cool. And it has that fluid movement because those links are all just tiny, tiny, super cute. Love it. Love it. We'll toggle that. And we now have so far 3 bracelets. Happy stuff. Okay, so here's this one. Super cute. Love it. Okay, so the next bracelet we're doing is a triple strand, and I am pulling in from the box the deeper orange rondelles, those more topaz-y orange rondelles, like the burnt orange. And then I'm pulling in the 2 lighter green rondelles with it as well. I have a couple of these little check glass flowers, pulling in some of those leaf beads. Aren't those so, I love those, they're so cool. And then we're pulling in some of the giraffe mix. Now, I ran out of these beads. So in my stash, I had some that were about as similar as I was going to get. Okay. And these, they're little check glass guys, but they're just clear with like the little wave of the creaminess going through them. And so those will work out okay. We'll use those. I'm using, I was out of the discs. So I'm using a few of the discs that came with the houseplant box. Okay. And also from the houseplant box that was a few months back, I'm pulling in what I had left of the green rondelles and those brown rondelles. It works out so perfect in this. I couldn't believe it. I was super happy about it. But then we have our oranges, we have our greens, and for the gold, I was wanting more of that lighter color gold, like that Casey gold or a very light rose gold. And so the Casey gold for me, that lighter gold, it's It's the kind of gold that's more so like 18 karat gold plated, you know, that lighter colored. I like that a lot. So we're going with that. I have bead caps that match really well with that. And these bead caps came in that same container from Amazon that the bronze bead caps came from. All of those came together. Okay, it's a big multi-pack. And then I'm gonna pull in some of the light rose gold crimp tubes for spacers. I have some daisy spacers in bronze, and I have just a couple little seed beads that I'm popping in. And these are those opaque, clear seed beads with the bronze lining. I have a couple of dangles over here that we're working out, and this triple strand is gonna be cute, super fun. So let's do this. It is going to be essentially 2 strands. You know how I do. 2 strands are going to be the same, and then we're going to have a focal strand in the middle. And so I'm going to work on focal strand first. And what I'm looking for in the focal strand is I brought in these 2 little drucks. Okay, just these little druck guys. And those are going to be here in the center with one of our draft beads, because those go so well offset with these and the flowers, I think. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to pull in the smaller bead caps, and I'm going to bead cap the center guy here. Oh, and on this one, Soft Flex Fine Satin Silver. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a green bead on each side. I'm using these as spacers, and I love them as spacers. And we're going to pull in on each side, we're going to pull in these flowers. Love these garland flowers. So we'll do a little crimp tube with a flower. And then a crimp tube on the other side. We'll do that same thing over here before we bead bug this. Okay, so crimp tube, flower, and so this is how we're starting. That bright pop that comes through there is just so fun. So fun. I love it with the browns and the deeper colors. It looks so good. So let's go ahead and bead bug this one side. Okay, and then we'll work from this side. So I'm going to pull in the bigger bead caps with those rondelles. Okay, and with these rondelles, I'm looking for the center strand to have what came in the box. Okay, the outer strands, we're going to use these that were from the houseplant box a few months back. And then all we're going to do is I'm going to put a bead cap there. We're going to go with one of these deep oranges, and then on the center, what I'm wanting to do is, because I want to bead cap the center one that's going to be the green, but I think these spacers are going to give it that extra like definition kind of pop. So if I put one of those on and then do a bead cap on the center green bead, and then do another spacer. It's just that pop. It's just that difference. It's that vibe, I guess, that I'm looking for. I just so like it. See, so this is what we're looking at so far. See that little pop that's in the center that's just a little something? I like that so much, so much. So then on the ending of this series, I'm going to bring in, for this one on the focal, the lighter colored ones. Okay, I'm going to bring those in there. And then all I'm going to be doing is putting a spacer. And then we're going to use these smaller 4mm bead caps. So I'm going to bead cap one of these. And I am going to bead cap the other side of it. And then in the center of this, I'm going to pop in one of these little faceted orange beads, these little 4 millimeters. Then we'll jump another bead cap on there. Okay, so that's that one side. I love it. Love it. Okay, so let's bead bug this, and then we'll just knock out that other side. Then we'll do that daisy spacer, and then we will bead cap both sides of that center green bead. Oops, actually, I didn't mean to put that on that side. Darn it, Amy. Fixed. Then we'll bead cap that center bead. We'll go ahead and put that spacer on, orange, and then that end bead cap. So good. So then now we'll just do a spacer. Do a bead cap here with one of these and that orange in the middle. We will probably end up putting a spacer at the end, but isn't that color just so, those colors so good together? It's kind of that differential, that darker and that lighter and that bright pop and the deepness of those. Love it. This is our center strand. So the outer strand, it'll be the same on both sides. So let's pull these in here. And what I'm looking for, I'll first start out here just to show you kind of that offset. Okay, so we'll put those on there. So I'm going to put 3 of these in a row. Because when these are in a row and they are tightened, they end up like this. What I'm looking for with that is on each side for that opening to kind of fit that bead right into it, right? Come up a little bit more. Just so that bead just kind of sits there in the middle of it. That's what I'm going for, like what I'm really going for. So I hope they stay up. I've done something like that before and I can work that out, but let's see. So on each side of this, what I am looking for is, I want one of these little greens. Let's bring all of these over here. Okay, so on this side, I'm wanting, and do I want, I think I'm going to do a spacer. I think that's what it was. So I'm going to do a spacer, and I'll bead bug this other side. Okay, so now I'm wanting to do the orange, and I'm going to bead cap this center bead here. Okay, so it's going to be almost covered, but not fully. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, bead cap, and then I'll do an orange on the other side. Super cute. That green just like pops right through there just ever so slightly, and I love it. And then one moment here, the other animals decided to join in, so one sec. Okay, sorry about that. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, so I do want to bead cap the next series. So from here, what I'm wanting to do is I want to come in with these, and I'm going to have 2 of these and one of the brown ones in the middle. Okay, so we'll get this on, and I'm going to essentially do the same thing like I did up here where we have that spacer in there. And then we will bead cap both sides of that center one. And actually I want to start with green. Let's start with green. Okay, spacer, bead cap on both sides of the center one. And it's really going to make that brown just pop. Okay, and then we'll do another spacer. And we'll do a green and a larger cap on the end. Okay, so here's where we are. The new kitten plays with everything while I bead. Everything. Things that I didn't think were on the floor are on the floor. I mean, it's just, it's fun though. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's totally fun, but hooey. Okay, let's do a spacer. And then let's come in to that end series, but we're going to use those draft beads that came in the box with one of these little spacer beads. So let's bead cap that. And I'm going to bead cap both sides. Love it. Love it. And I love that pop in the spacer. It is just so good. Our little beads here. Okay, and then we'll bead cap again. Super good. Okay, so we're going to bug the end of this. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to go need to take care of Squirt. He is making noises in there. He is ready for me to come and hang out with him for a minute. And then I will have to do the last bracelet after that. And actually the last one, I'm pretty sure it's my favorite. Pretty sure. It may not be your favorite, but it is so my vibe. Okay, then we'll do that orange. Another one of the spacer beads. Then we'll come in with bigger bead cap. Do that green spacer. Cap, and we'll bead cap both sides of this brown one again. Pop on that other green. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Pop on the other spacer. Pop on that other green. And get that other bead cap on. Okay, so we'll pop on another spacer here. And we'll grab a couple of these. One of our baby green ones in the middle. And then our last one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make up the other strand. I'll probably go ahead and close these off as well, and then we'll be right back. Okay. Okay. So I went ahead and ended these and I put them on a little chandelier connector. And this was what I was looking for, this little kind of offset. And it's so much fun, right? So much fun. So I am going to get this connected to the toggle and add some dangles. And then I went ahead and got out the stuff for our last bracelet. Okay. If you hear a little movement in the background, a little thump, 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 yeah, that's kind of why I went ahead and did some of this, because the kitten has the zoomies and a couple of the other animals are partaking in that. They just think it's super fun, which of course I'm sure it is. However, right? Okay, I'm going to connect here one of our dangles. So I've got that going on. Then I'm going to hook on this chandelier connector with one side of our toggle. So fun. So fun. I love the bright pops in this one so much. It's grinding, but I see a space. No, I guess there's not a space. Okay, so we have that there on that side. And then here on this side, we have another one here. And actually, I'll put this on, put that on this side, and this one. Get that bigger jump ring there. There it is. Oop, above it. Okay, we'll connect to that one. So fun. Look at that. So much fun, so much fun, so much fun. This is our other triple strand. Oh, love that. Just love that, and all of its dangles and fluid movement. Lots of good times, lots of good times. So again, we're going to be using some satin silver in fine, and it's going to be a double strand for this last bracelet. And I'm in love with this last bracelet, in love. So we're pulling in this beauty. Oh, star of the show, and the start and everything. We are bringing in these barrel beads, and I love them so much. We're going to have the darker color of rose gold in here. So I plucked out of the tiger eye the reds from the tiger eye. So we have those reds that's going to be in here, and the two brighter green. I have the last of the little baby seed beads that was in that, in between that strand. And then because I was out of discs again, I pulled these little discs from, I think it was this one. Is this one from, if this one isn't from the box, then it's from the houseplants box. Okay, so I was using both of those. I can't remember which is which right off right now. Sorry about that. Now, made little dangles, super cute. And what I pulled in for my stash is I have some of these little cones, and I thought they pulled out the greens and that kind of rosy rose gold so well. So I brought in some of those, and then these. And just little video guys. I've had these for so long and I've never used any of them until now. So I'm super excited to use them. We're gonna be mixing metals. And so I have the bright rose gold, that bright deep rose gold that I also don't use very often. And in that bright deep rose gold, I have some of these itty bitty little rhinestone spacers. So we're gonna be using those. I have some 5mm bead caps in that deep rose gold, and then I'm going to be also using my bronze bead caps. So those two are going to go together. And for our spacers, I do have some of those dark rose gold crimp tubes that I'm using, and then just a couple little bronze seed beads. And we're going to toggle it, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be beautiful, and I'm excited. Okay, so let's start out with the strand with this. Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're going to pop this on. Okay, and on each side of this, what I'm wanting to do is that mix, right? So I'm going to have my rose gold bead cap with my antique bronze on top of it. And look what this does. Look at that. Right. Oh, so good. So good. Okay, and so I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bring in some of those discs. So what I'm looking for in those discs is kind of just a layering, a little bit of a layering. And so I want to do one of these green discs with one of our little bitty daisy spacers. Okay, so I'm going to do a daisy spacer, and then in between those, because I'm going to do that on the other side, that's when I'm bringing in these couple little bronze seed beads, just to kind of, you know, pull it into that focal, really. And so then I'll come right back over here, and then I'll do green. And so what we're looking at here is that, and it's really cool. I'm liking it a whole bunch, like a whole bunch. So from here, we're going to go into our series, and what that series is going to be is we are going to have our tiger eye with one of our beautiful little greens in the middle, and a little extra something to go with it. Right? Imagine that. Okay, so I'm going to do double bead cap. So I'm going to do a bronze bead cap followed by one of our rose gold. Okay, I'm going to pop on one of these tiger eye. And then on the other side of the tiger eye, I'm just going to do one of these bronze. Because then I'm going to pull in one of our rhinestone spacers. So good. So then I'm just going to be doing this on the other side. So on this other side, I'm going to pop in one of these. I'm going to put our beautiful green bead there. I'm going to do a bronze bead cap going towards it, little rhinestone daisy spacer, and a bead cap going away from it. And that I just love that pop. That little bit of a deep pop that's on both sides of that is just stunning. I mean, stunning. So then we're going to come in here with another tiger eye. Okay, so pretty, right? So then we'll just do our rose gold followed by our bronze, and then we're going to do just the same little series right here. Okay, so we're going to bring in that green followed by a rose gold daisy spacer, our little bronze pop in the middle, daisy spacer, green, and then to end out this side, we're going to be pulling in one of these guys, and I'm going to put a bronze bead cap on it. So I want this to go away, okay, so that the big part is going towards the center of the bracelet. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. And I just think it's beautiful. I just think it's super, super beautiful. And then all I'm going to do from here is pop on this. Have our little green pop that goes with it, and then I'm going to pull in one of our crimp tube spacers. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side, and that to me is just breathtaking. I love everything about it, all the things and all the stuff. Okay, so let's bead cap the end here. So sorry, Squirt needed me. You guys, I'm telling you, if I say it's hard for me to find this time to record, it is because it seems like everything needs me all the time, all at once. And It'd be okay. It'd be okay, but woof. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing on the other side here. So we're going to do one of those green discs. We're going to do rose gold daisy spacer, little bronze bead in the middle, daisy spacer, one of our green discs. Okay, and then we're going into the tiger eye. So I'm going to put in on one of our bronze, followed by rose gold bead cap. Pop on one of those tiger eye. These are just stunning. I am telling you, I cannot get over how stunning these tiger eye are. I just absolutely love them. Love them so much. Okay, so then we're coming in with a bead cap going towards that tiger eye, a rhinestone spacer, one going away here. That's where we're going to pop on our green rondelle. Do a bronze going towards it. Put on that other rhinestone. These are just teeny tiny. One going away, and then back into this tiger eye. So then on the tiger eye, go here, and then on the other side, we will do that bead cap. That's rose gold, followed by the bead cap that is the bronze. Then we're going back into that same series. Okay, so here we are again with, I need the rest of my greens. We have that green, a daisy spacer, a bronze, daisy spacer, a green. Then we'll end that out with bead capping that beautiful little cone bead. Just so fun. Just so fun. I love them. Then I want a bead cap on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to pop on a green. And then a rose gold spacer. That is the strand. And that is happiness. Well, if you ask me. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side for a moment. And on this other strand, let me start with the center first. So what I'm looking for in the center here is I'm wanting, first, I'm going to pop in 2 of these green with one of our little bronze in the middle. Okay, so we'll go that green, bronze, green. And then on each side of that, I'm going to bring in one of these itty bitty little guys, little bitty drop bead. And in between that, I'm going to do rose gold. Okay, and I want the smaller, thinner points towards each other. Okay, so I'm going to have one on the other side as well, but that's what we're looking at. Okay, rose gold in the center. Woo. Rose gold in the center. And then another one of these. And then we're going to bead cap it and work from one side. Hey, little guy. Oh my. There we go. Oi, oi. So what I'm looking for in that is for it to be the thin part to offset our center. So now I'm going to go into a very simple series, okay? So we're going to pull these in. We're going to double those bead caps. So I'm going to come in here with the bronze, followed by that rose gold. One of these. I'm going to bead cap the same on the other side of it. So now we're going to do that rose gold, followed by bronze, Mm-hmm. So good, right? Oh, so good. Okay, and so then in the middle, I'm going to do a daisy spacer. Okay, and I wonder if I want a rose if I want a spacer. I think I do. That would be cool. Okay, let's bring in these. I may need to get out more, but that's okay. I'm wanting to, actually I don't think so because it's going to be a big pronounced statement. Okay, nope, I don't want to, because this is going to be that center part, right? And then I'm going to just turn around and do another bronze bead cap. So bronze bead cap. Okay, and then with the bronze, I'm going to do the tiger eye. And with the tiger eye, I'm not putting on that rose gold. Okay, I just want it to be like that pop that's in there. Because that rose gold is going in the middle and on our green bead. So I'll do a daisy spacer. And then we'll double bead cap again and do another one of these. So then come in here with bronze, followed by rose gold. Pop on another one of our greens. And we'll bead cap that other side. I'm absolutely loving the look and feel of this bracelet. I just absolutely adore it. I just adore it. Super, super cute. So we're going to do the same thing, right? So I'm going to put one of these daisy spacers, and then we're just going to do a bronze bead cap, and we're going to do that little ending cone, that same ending cone that we did on the other strand. So we're going to pop him on, bead cap that other side. Right? So good. And we'll pull in those greens. So a green, and then we'll put one of our little crimp tube spacers at the end. So let's do this. Let's close this up. Let's knock out that other side of it, and then we'll look at it all together. Yep. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna pop this on. Do one of our rose gold for our green. Okay. So pretty. Okay, we're just then doing a daisy spacer. We're going to do bronze only on the tiger eye. Okay, daisy spacer. Then we'll do another green that is double bead capped. I think I'm short a bead cap. Nope, I'm not. No, that's it. Silly Sally. All right, so then we'll just do that daisy spacer followed by bronze bead cap. A little cone bead. Green. And our ending spacer. Just absolutely gorgeous. Now let's look at them together. Right? Okay. I love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let me get some crimp tubes. Well, no, I think, do I have crimp tubes still? Nope, none of those. Let me grab a couple of those and clamshell connectors. So we will go ahead and, since this one still has the bead bug on one side, we will start with that one. Oh, he's sideways. Okay, so we'll knock out that other side. Fold him up. Look at that together. Wow, 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 wow. One sec. I thought something terrible was happening. I heard this horrible noise. No. Squirt is in his little wheel inside of his enclosure, and he also has food in the wheel. And so he's going round and round and round, and his food is going thump, 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 thump. I tell you, there's not a single dull moment in this house. There's none. There's no dull moments. Not that I necessarily want a bunch of dull moments, but whew. So you'll probably hear it in the background. You know. Okay, so we'll knock out this one. Okay, close this up. And we'll do that last side. Crimp tube. Let's wheel this up. Open this a little bit more. Okay, grabbing a hold of him and I'm going to pull up a little bit while I pinch. Okay. So loving this. I'm going to wear this all the time. All the time, all the time. All the time, all the time, all the time. Okay. So let's see, on our size, let's see how long this is before I decide which jump ring that I want to use. Small jump ring. The smaller jump rings. Okay. And we'll get this connected. And then we have made 5 bracelets today. 5 fun, cool, beautiful bracelets. I am super excited about them. I'm super excited too about the sets that I'm making, because some of these bracelets go with and match well with the 2 sets that I still need to make. So it gives you a little idea, maybe. I've just had a blast. I've had an absolute blast designing with this box. And I just want it to go on forever. But I need to get that little guy out. them on. And then on this side, I'm gonna put our dangles. Make sure where we are with them. With this guy on the other side. There we go. So pop those dangles on there. Then we'll put on that other side. So fun. So good. Let's see here. Oh, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be perfect. Look at this. Look. So good. Oh. Okay, my friends. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for being patient as well while the babies kept pulling me away. I'm just thrilled that we've been able to get these put together, and that maybe it can help you guys think of something you can do, or if you want to remake these or whatever you want to do. I think that's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And look at these babies. So good. Oh, until we meet back here very soon, because I'm about to record again after I, take care of the babies for a little bit. I hope your day's fantastic. Fantastic. Bye, friends.